Ahoy, mateys! I wish I had a captain's hat. That'd be perfect. But in any event, I'm reporting today from the USS First Grade at the bottom of the ocean. Wait a second. That's actually not true because you would never find these guys at the bottom of the ocean. They don't live anywhere close to the bottom of the ocean. What I'm excited to share with you this morning is that the ocean is way bigger than we realize. Have you ever thought of the ocean floor? It's called the seabed. And we tend to think that a lot happens down there, like, at the bottom of the ocean. No, it doesn't. So I wanted to give you a little sneak peek at that today. All right, guys, so I'm just going to sneak this up to the very bottom of your screen. Oh, there we are. There's the beach. Do you see it right there? That little tiny little tan thing. And there's the land behind it. And look, all you can see is blue, flat water when you're at the beach. Maybe way out you see an island, right? Well, guess what? There's a whole lot that you're not seeing. When you look out at the ocean, you are actually looking out at a world filled with mountains, trenches, islands that go deeper than we can see, long, flat, open places, even underwater volcanoes. In fact, the tallest mountain on Earth is not technically Mount Everest. It's a mountain that's under the ocean, rising up from the true seabed. There is so much under there, you guys. And the ocean's animals, some of which I've loved reading about with you guys in this book, in our Zoom calls this week, the ocean's animals are amazingly adapted to survive and thrive in this underwater world that is so much bigger and wider and deeper and full of powerful living things than we can even imagine. So let me take you a little closer even. There are 3 levels of ocean, and they're each relating to how much sun gets through, right? When you're at the beach, you have to wear sunglasses, hat, sunscreen, because that sun is beating down on you, right? Well, it doesn't feel like that for animals in the ocean that are anywhere below the very surface. The ocean is so deep that the sun only gets through a small part of it. This picture shows you that. Do you see this light green part up here? That's the beautiful top part of the ocean that you see in pictures and when you're at the beach. This is called the sunlight zone. The sunlight gets through this zone easily, and close to shore, plants can even grow underwater. Things like seaweed thrive there, and all kinds of animals. Below that, you have this little darker blue area. That's called the twilight zone, because some light still gets through, but not that much. There's still a lot of things that live in the twilight zone. What most people don't realize is that most of the ocean's depth is the midnight zone. If you look at these top 2 layers, look how much more of this dark black area is. This area, no sunlight gets through. In the sunlight zone, that's where most of the animals we think about live. Turtles, fish, dolphins, coral reefs, all the things that we think about when we think about the beach and the ocean, almost all of those things live in the sunlight zone. If you go a little deeper to the twilight zone, you can see less sun is getting through. There's still plenty of things that live there. Squid, octopus, some bigger fish. Things start to get a little bit creepy though, and when you get into the midnight zone, that's when things get really strange. Guys, not only does not much live there at all, but the things that do live there are adapted for some seriously dark conditions. Did you know there are even fish that have their own light? It's true. Way down here, the deepest part of all, humans have not even been able to explore the very bottom of the ocean in many places. That is how deep it is. So with that appreciation, I want to encourage you guys to keep learning about all the animals, sea animals that you can this week. And I'm going to give you that book and some other ways on our Padlet to do that. But I bet you can even find books at your own house where you could learn more about sea animals. Guys, this also reminds me that when we're talking about ocean and comparing things, it's perfect for the math I want to tell you about today. When we talked about a pond earlier this week, we realized ponds are pretty small, right? Now think about the ocean habitat. Which one is bigger? Obviously the ocean, right? How about some of the sea creatures that we've been reading about? Let's think about a blue whale and a clownfish. Which one is bigger? Obviously the blue whale. What you guys don't realize is that you're comparing things all the time. And now that we're getting to be such experts with big numbers, we're going to get some more practice comparing big numbers too. So for today and tomorrow's math practice, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to compare numbers, especially ones that are a little bigger than the ones we compared in class a few months ago. So the first question I have for you is this. Which is more, 75 or 66? I bet you all know instantly. I want to show you how it looks. I want to teach you today that the easiest way to compare really big numbers is to compare the tens and the ones, okay? Here we have our 75 in blue, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have our 66 in yellow, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Now, you know in your mind right away which one is bigger. But when you look here, you can see that we also have one more blue 10 than yellow 10. So I instantly know that there's one more 10. I can see it here in the numbers themselves. There's one more 10 here than here. Even though, which one has more ones? This one looks like it has more ones, but this number is bigger because it has more tens, okay? So this is easy enough, right? Let me ask you a second question. Which is less, 66 or 58? Well, let's show it. Now I'm going to move my 66 up and add 58 to show below it. Somebody wrote on those. Okay, so again, I can tell very quickly which one is less. If I have any doubt in my mind, I can just check my tens. I have 6 yellow tens, and I have 5 of the blue tens. So even without going to the ones, I already know which one is less. 58. Last of all, I want us to have some extra practice figuring out number patterns, and comparing numbers for that is key. So this is the question I have for you there. What is missing in this number pattern? And when you're looking at a pattern, your eye might want to just stick with what's missing, but I want you to be real detectives. Look at the beginning. Look at what comes after. Figure out what's happening with the numbers. Is 50 less than 55 or is 50 more than 55? 50 is definitely less than 55. So I know that for one thing, this pattern is going up. How many is it going up? How many more is 55 than 50? I can check my ones to find out because they both have 5 tens. 55 is 5 more than 50. I think I know the pattern now. I think I'm adding 5 every time. Let's check it out. 50 plus 5 is 55. 55 plus 5 is 60. So what should I do here? I should just add 5 again. And now I know that what's missing is 65, okay? So you have a couple easy practices to do with those two things today, guys. Comparing larger numbers, just like we can compare biomes. We can compare animals that live in biomes. We can compare all kinds of things. You guys did a great job comparing animals when we read this week together. So the last thing I want to show you is, have you been hearing all the chirping that's been going on during this lesson? I better leave the ocean for a minute, see if I can figure out what's going on. Let's take our USS First Grade right over here. Okay. Look what happened. Guys, I'd love to introduce you to Scrambles and Pretzel. They are fluffy and ready for action. There's even more chirping because there's still chicks in the incubator too. There's a tiny little one who just came out an hour ago, who I think's name is going to be Opal. And there's one more who's pipped and working up strength to go through her journey out of the egg. So guys, I'm so excited for you to meet these friends. You hear them? They come out looking really wet and just kind of bizarre. And then before you know it, a couple hours later, they're all fluffy. And right now I've moved these two out of the incubator into the brooder. So I'm going to put them back in the brooder right now. This is the brooder lamp. This sits in their container like this and allows them to go underneath. It's cozy. And the reason for these tall things is that as the chicks get bigger, you can turn it and raise the platform so that they can stay really cozy. They need to stay really warm in there. So I'm going to put this back in so they can stay cozy, but I wanted to show you that. And I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Sorry. Have a great day in the ocean.